putting this on, a rather interesting experience compared to the normal tabletop. So it's very good. So I want to speak today. Many of you have known me from the industry for a number of years. Many of you probably know of HetNet, but really don't know exactly what HetNet does. So I'm going to speak a little bit about it today through what our actions are and what services we provide. So HetNet, for many of you, stands for Heterogeneous Networks, rather broad-based term. Our skill sets deploy across carrier, public safety, Wi-Fi, CBRS, all of that, but our main focus as a company, and obviously for this presentation, is public safety. ERCS deployments, as you know, emergency radio responder or responder radio coverage systems. Deployments, we get involved in that. Speaks to the changes of the industry. Those that are in the know, that is changing like many things within this segment of the business. That's changing to ERCs coming up here shortly. So I'm going to speak about the partners we do, the various companies, types, and the services that we provide. So who are we? HetNet's been in business since 2015, but more importantly, our core membership, if people have remembered the company called Tri-Power, was an integrator back in the previous decades that got involved in carrier, in building a number of different installations. HetNet, the core team, comprises a number of individuals from that organization. We have a vast experience beyond just the 5 years in business. As I mentioned, our main focus is on public safety and in building public safety. We do a number of different services, and we'll touch a little bit on all of that today. So who are we? We're a group of designers, engineers, testers, subject matter experts, but what's not listed on there, a lot of us are radio people. We understand the in-building from the radio standpoint, are sensitive to the needs of the community for those type of requirements. We're leaders in the industry. We're involved in a number of different organizations and HetNet, various people. Chair of the California Automatic Fire Alarm Association for BDAs, Safer Buildings Coalition, NICET. We also are involved in partners with a number of cities, Sunnyvale, Redwood City, South San Francisco. We work with a number of corporations to guide them through the ever-changing landscape of in-building wireless for public safety. I'll speak a little bit of what we're not. We are not an integrator. A lot of people kind of think HetNet is synonymous with integration. We physically do not put in the systems. We do not purchase the equipment. Although we design using people's equipment, we recommend equipment, but we don't integrate. We don't have a contractor's license per se. So we partner with other companies who do perform those services, and I'll speak to that in a little bit. So our services are kind of across a number of different areas. We do consulting, third-party testing, we do plan checking, we do design, commissioning, engineering, maintenance, monitoring, and I'll speak a little later about the HetNet application, rather unique to what we do. So consulting, we partner with a number of companies for this. It'll be architects, we partner with general contractors, low voltage contractors, service third-party testing. We do testing for a number of different areas, plan check, design, commissioning, engineering, maintenance, monitoring, and then the HetNet app. So third-party testing. We do third-party testing not only for systems that we get involved in and consult with, we also do third-party testings for other integrators. So we partner with integrators that do full services. As you know, in many jurisdictions, an independent third party needs to do the testing of the buildings. So we will come in and do the initial testing, also the acceptance testing, also the annual testing. As many of you may or may not know, for in-building wireless, part of the code dictates there should be an annual test of that system, similar to fire sprinklers, fire alarms. It's not very enforced, but it's out there to maintain integrity of the network and make sure the systems work. So we engage for third-party testing annuals, not just for systems we've been involved in, but we do annual testing for anybody's systems. We actively go out there and look for these systems, identify where they're at, and offer our services to make sure they're in compliance, not just of the code, but make sure they're not interfering with the macro network. We perform the standard testing for it. You'll see the list of here. As I was identified earlier, we do near-far testing. We make sure there is isolation, and we make sure that the downlink is of the proper and uplink is the proper gain within the system. We'll check for FCC licensee. I know that Greg in his presentation yesterday identified that there's the vast majority of these systems that are out there basically are not aware of or listed with the licensee holder. So we will try to identify these systems and where there is not an existing agreement or subject matter that we will coordinate with the license holder and make sure that that is registered with them. Plan check. So we will do plan check of obviously our own system design, but we do plan check of other systems designs. We look at specific to the radio layer. So we'll look there and validate the path calcs. We'll validate the uplink, downlink calculations. We'll look at the local and engage with the local radio shop. We're really an advocate for the local radio shop to make sure that these systems that are going into designs that are being done are of a design that is going to function correctly, is going to pair with the macro network, not cause interference, not raise the noise level within the network, and work well. So design, we will partner with low voltage contractors, general contractors, fire alarm installation companies, people that have the wherewithal to put in systems but don't have the experience to do the design. So we will offer our services for design. We will focus on uplink, downlink. We will focus on minimizing interference, maximizing isolation. Although we are not tied to specific equipment brands, we tend to focus on Class A or Class AB hybrid amplifiers. Why? Because they're a source of less interference when these systems are installed. We also like BDAs with uplink muting. So we will look to make sure that the designs we do or the designs we recommend are in compliance with the systems and with the wishes of the radio shop, as well as providing a good functional system to support the HJs and first responders in the field. So commissioning and engineering. This is a function we will perform for our designs that we partner with. We also do commissioning and engineering for other systems that are designed by other individuals, if the need be there. So we will do check near far. We'll work with the radio shop where necessary. We'll do the DAQ testing, the 20 grid testing, all of that, calculate link budgets. We will also come in and check amplifiers that they're performing correctly. Very important part of this, as Greg pointed out and others, that it's not just as simple as put in the amplifier, turn up the gain, and you're done. Great, the building's covered. That's not the point. You want to minimize the potential for interference and respect the macro network when these systems go in. We're very sensitive to that. We're an advocate for the radio shop as well as the HJ. We take that into consideration when we do our engineering and commissioning of the systems. Maintenance and monitoring. So we actively go out there, and again, not just for systems that we've been involved in, but we seek and find existing BDAs that are in the network today. We're there to help not only observe, but look at the networks, measure them, test them, make sure they're in compliance, make sure the license holder is aware of their existence, and more importantly, make sure that they're operating correctly, do not cause interference. Obviously, we want them to cause coverage and have the issue to support the HJ, but in some cases, we'll actually support and recommend and perform a shutdown if we find the BDA is not in compliance or performing where it does cause problems for the macro network. So HetNet app, this is unique to HetNet. As I mentioned, one of the things HetNet does, we're on a mission to go out there and identify where are all of these BDAs. Our goal is to find, identify, and help maintain all of these BDAs to be in compliance of the license holder and perform correctly a function that where if a first responder needs to go in that building, they are going to function correctly and provide coverage. So we'll go out there and we've created this application, and I'll show you kind of a snapshot of this. This is a small snapshot. We will identify the BDAs. We'll go out there and find the information, do the annual test, and we will put that information into a database that's accessible to the AHJs at this point to help guide them, as well as the radio shops, into where are these devices out there? Are they functional? Are they compliant? Is there a certificate on there that says that there's consent from the radio license holder that these should be operating? We also try and perform the annual test to validate those, bring them up to compliance. As you may or may not know, this industry is constantly changing. The code is changing, the enforcement is changing, the frequencies are changing, the technology is changing from a BDA standpoint. So one of the benefits that HetNet brings is we stay on top of these changes the best we can and try and advise that to our partners, be it the installer, be it the integrator, be it the building owner, be it the property developer, manager. We try and help them make sure that these systems are in operation, they're functional, they're in compliance, and they perform what they do at the end of the day, which is help save lives. So I think I've got a few minutes left. I'm open to questions, clarification. I hope I've given you a little bit more insight into what HetNet does and the value we bring to this segment of public safety. Wow, must have done good. I covered a lot.
Yeah, if there's any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question to Manny, or provide feedback or your perspective on things.
Very good.
Hey, Manny, do you have the login for the app or no? Do you have that handy?
I do not. That's Matt Brown. He's partner for HetNet. Matt, if you've got that, if you want to publish that or mention that.
I wanted to see if I could share it maybe for everybody.
Certainly.
Hold on. I need to.
Let me stop sharing mine if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, let me see if I can do it or not here real quick since we got a little bit of extra time. Is it working?
Technology, gotta love it.
All right. So this is our app, guys. Over here, you can see that you kind of just get a quick dashboard of all the tests that have performed, all the systems that you have logged into the network, the tests that failed, the tests that have passed, et cetera, et cetera. We're always working on this, so there's always something to add to this that people may want. South San Francisco has specifically asked us to add in a form for them that that lets them know basically that for the police network itself out there, they have an additional form that they want you to fill out that goes above and beyond, kind of a little bit of an express written consent form for their systems. So we add that into the actual product here so that you can see it right then, right up on top, say, hey, this has been done and this is all good. You could see that as you pop into a particular pin or site, you could see that there is, you get access to the tests. You could download them if that's how you have your web browser set up. And I don't know if it followed me over to it, but you could download it and take a look at the test. You look at the commissioning report. You could look at the design if you have the design on here, and we could upload all of those things into the app for you to be able to see. So it's pretty robust for somebody to be able to start to track their sites. It's also designed for, as new sites come on board, you could sort of get down, get granular on stuff and see how close systems are. So I'm sure you would hear Greg saying this should not happen in any case, having these two systems right next to each other like this, you know, and that they probably have a potential for self-interference, and that's without knowing what else is even out there that may not have been added to the app. So, yeah, so we think it's a pretty powerful tool for, you know, for radio shops. Right now, we're offering to sort of take all the data, load it up for free until the end of the year, and then go from there. Was there any questions about that, about the app? No. Me and you are going to win Public Speaker of the Year award, Manny. We've been concise and provided all the detail that everybody needed. Excellent.
All right, very good. Thank you both,
Yep.
Manny and Matt. We've
Yep.
got a couple more questions
Thanks,
if anyone has anything else. All right, well, with that being said, thank you, HetNet, very much for that presentation. Good stuff. We appreciate your guys' efforts along with Pulse Solutions to help make this environment a better place for RF while still providing in-building coverage needs. So we've got a couple minutes till the next session will be presented by Freedom Communications. I did place a link in the chat if you guys are jumping to, if you want to go to another exhibit hall, you're certainly able to do so.